Hello and welcome to some Bacchus gameplay. Normally on supports I like to start with Watcher's Gift and tier 1 boots into 5 health and 3 mana. This is pretty much the start I've been going with. I've also been picking up Shell a lot because Shell is amazing as a teamfight relic. It is probably the best in the entire game. If you're curious why I'm taking this current path, it's because my mid laner as well as my hunter basically wanted to check if we were going to be invaded or not, so we came here. Which in all honesty is not the best invade spot in the entire game, but there is that. There are better spots. So how do you do buffs? Because I don't think I've actually covered this. It's actually pretty simple. The mid laner or the hunter starts the buff, they pull it without taking any damage, and then the support then takes the aggro. Now, what you're going to see here is the same trick being used again on boars. You'll see that Medusa has pulled the boars and then steps out, and then I take the aggro. This is pretty much the most optimal way to clear buff counts, especially on the duo side, if you are curious. And as a result, you can see that we've gotten to lane much quicker than the other team. Even though we have, I think, a slightly worse clear. Now at this stage we don't have vision on them, so their clear must be a lot worse than ours. So what we basically do is we basically go over to see what's happened, and I basically body block to stop any more incoming damage from Neef. I can see they haven't done boars, and we're basically just doing a bit of zoning as well as stripping away any potential XP or gold from them, because they haven't come over here and got any farm. Now for some reason the jungler is here, and I basically just force him back to try and strip away more gold and XP from him. If you're curious why I decided to jump in. One of the things a support can do is they can just bully by being a presence. Now I'm just checking here to see if they've taken boars, and I can see they've only taken one, and I have no idea what they are doing, if I'm honest with you at this stage. I'm a bit confused, so I'm playing a bit cautious, and I'm also telling my hunter to play a bit cautious as a result. Now, sometimes it is better to just concede the wave and let the wave go into your tower. Yes, you do lose your gold and XP. One of the mistakes I'm making here is I'm not letting my hunter get last hits. This is something that I've started to work on, because you want to try and make sure the hunter gets as much XP as possible as well as gold. Because I have Watcher's Gift, I basically show it. Now, Bacchus did cancel out my belch, and I did try to cancel out his belch. Now I see they still haven't done boars, so I'm basically trying to make the call that once we've cleared the wave here, we should probably go and look at stealing that boar. It isn't much, but it's still something that they won't have. You can see here that Medusa is being very aggressive because that wave is pretty much there, and we strip away even more gold and XP for Neef. At this stage though, Neef does have to contend with that wave, so we decide, you know what, let's go and initiate on the board. At this stage right now we have a 2-level lead in duo, so I decide, you know what, I'm going to go and help Newer out, because Medusa needs as much XP and gold as she can, so I'm just going to let her farm on her own and be fine. So what I decided to do here is basically see if they were going to initiate on Medusa. If not, they was going to come back in, but I decided to go straight to middle lane just to help Newer. Now what you generally want to do is place a ward there where I pass into the lane. That's a very strong warding position, because then you can see if anyone is going to rotate from duo lane to you. Newer can basically now push up tower because I just force back any of them. As a result as well, because I have some spare mana, I basically can use pretty much all my abilities and just go back to base and fill up. So there is I also pick up 2 wards as well in my first pack. I pretty much do this on every single role. It's a habit you should probably get into. Generally when I'm playing Smite, I will make a note of when people use their ult. Now Nua just used her ult there. She was trying to get a kill or get some vision, I can't remember exactly. What I decided to do is come in to middle lane because I know fire's on the way, and I'm basically just making this a 3 versus 1 fight. The jungler correctly calls that he should probably back off. I just want to try and get as much poke on the tower as I can, and we just don't. I decide, you know what we're going to do, we're going to go and share the mid camps with fire. Nua's in middle lane, and unfortunately, as we're making invade on damage, Nua gets ulted because of a new burst because Nua wasted her escape. There's not really much I could do there. Even if I stayed, I would have probably not been able to save Nua, but there is that to keep in mind. Now, at this stage, Medusa has pretty much gotten a lot of farm on her own. She is ahead by 2 levels. I'm basically just warding Gold Fury, just in case. Medusa is taking a bit of poke here, but I basically just jump in and say, look, I'm here. You should probably think again. At this stage, I'm pretty much just... It's a 2v1. She is ahead, but I think, you know what, it's better for me to stick around. You see here, I go straight into the jungle. The reason why is because the wave is clear. I very much don't think they are going to initiate, but I believe they don't. So I just have time to basically put a ward down. I basically then path back in to say, look, I'm still here. Neath misses a spirit arrow. Basically showing the XP at this point, but Medusa's so far ahead it doesn't really matter. What you are going to see here is quite clever. Bacchus goes in without clearing the wave. I basically then stun him. He takes a lot of poke. And then we basically counter-initiate. Medusa ults as they're facing us. I knock them up, so they're pretty much screwed. And they're taking hits from Medusa as well as the wave. And then ult, and they're dead. Knock-ups are one of the best CCs in the entire game. If you get knocked up, you are screwed. So you have to basically beast or cleanse yourself beforehand in order to avoid that form of CC. Now, unfortunately, though, we do not get anything from that. What should have happened there is the jungler should have came over along with the mid laner, but unfortunately we didn't get a tower. We could have probably got a tower for those 2 kills, to be honest with you. And here I'm basically just doing the same thing. I'm just basically making it a 2v1 and basically just putting pressure on mid, because at this stage duo lane is pretty much won, so there is that. At this stage, duo is ahead and solo is ahead, so I can pretty much just focus mainly on middle lane, and as a result, I'm basically going over to middle lane just to cause a bit of trouble. Now I know Anubis has Sanctuary, so I'm pretty much just trying to bait it out, and I do. Anubis then preemptively uses Sanctuary to try and avoid the clay minion damage, but Nua does not use that. Instead, she just sends the flame into the tower. I pretty much just body block Nija there to just stop him getting the slash onto Nua, because I know Nua is very squishy. I then ult here to just weaken them up, and Nua then goes to this guy and pretty much kill Anubis. If Anubis had held on to his Sanctuary, he would have probably survived that. He's now a 2 versus 1. And there's pretty much not much Nija can do at this stage. It's 2 versus 1. The tower is pretty much going to fall. What he should have done there is pretty much just backed off and went to another lane that's having pressure applied to it. But unfortunately for him, duo lane is in a lot of trouble. Solo lane is in a lot of trouble, and Nija then dies to Nua. So yeah.
Enemy missing right. Nobody gonna mess with me. Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
slave. There was nothing you could have done there.
Make way!
At this stage I'm pretty comfortable, and I understand that my team are going to follow up on any CC I provide, so I'm okay with putting myself in the front lines. This is very, very risky, the fact that we do not have any vision at all, but fire is pretty big so we can melt this. There's also a Wrath available as well, and you can see we can pretty much just 2 versus 1 the Gold Fury without much trouble. What we should have done is we should have not done that without any vision over there, but honestly, I don't feel that this team is much of a threat, and yes, I did misuse a relic there and pop the shelf. I'm on the way over to middle lane because I know Nua's in trouble. Me and Fire are on the way, and we're basically just trying to look for opportunities at this stage, and Fire is just so scary that she can just melt anyone she really wants. Now Bacchus decides, instead of trying to actually help Anubis, I'm just going to run away, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. Newell then comes back in and basically goes, you know what, we're just going to take the Sitar. At this stage it's a 3 versus 1. Nijar should have just backed off. There's no way you're winning this. The tower is pretty much down. Although Fred does leave, so it's now 2 versus 1. I'm pretty much just zoning Nijar at this stage saying go away. There's nothing he can really do, as the tower will fall eventually. What you will see though is Fire is over in the dual lane of the jungle doing whatever, and this is a misplay for me. I didn't actually look at my minimap properly, and I jumped to the wrong heartpiece. Oh dear. So at this stage, Nua's like, come and do mid. I'm like, okay, I'll just steal it from you. And there's more gold for me. So now I'm pretty much just looking for ending out the game, looking for extra picks. Now I know that this has been a 2 versus 1 fight, so I decided to come over and join. What you're about to see here is Fire flanking from behind. While you should probably be buying wards, I pretty much just counter initiate there, just zone niche, and pretty much just zone Bacchus away from his hunter. So pretty much at this stage, Neef is dead. There's pretty much nothing, and Bacchus is surrounded by 3 people on my team. He is pretty screwed. And then what happens now is we have 3 people over here, we have 2 here from their team, but it's still 3 versus 2. And Medusa then ults, and pretty much it becomes a... well, it ends up being a 2 versus 1, and we pretty much win because we wiped out their entire team almost. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Probably. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. And I will see you again next time.